Most people don't get their dream home because they never learn how to save for it on their income. So today I'm giving you the fastest way to stack up on a down payment without feeling broke, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck. We're gonna go over a step-by-step plan, a few money hacks most people miss, and a system that works no matter what you make. Step one, know your real number. If you watched episode 1, you already know you might not need to save the full 20% for a down payment. You might qualify for an FHA loan, which only requires 5%. But whether you're putting 20% or 5%, that's just the start. You've got other fees you can't avoid. I'm sure you've already heard about the closing costs. They usually run 2 to 5% of the purchase price, and my advice is to save the full 5% because closing costs add up quickly. Then you've got attorney fees, moving expenses, small stuff like basic furniture, replacing the locks, maybe a loose window screen, all things that you didn't notice during the walkthrough. So how much do you really need? Add 7% of the home price for hidden costs, and then another $3,000 for moving expenses. That's your real number. And if you're like, what, 7%? Go watch episode 1. I break it all down there. These numbers aren't to scare you. They're to prepare you because the last thing I want for you is 1, to get to closing day and not have enough money for these extra costs, meaning you'll have to pull from your emergency fund or go into more debt. 2, to scrape every penny just to get the keys and not have anything left for the real life stuff that comes next. You're gonna move in. And what if you need to replace a $600 garbage disposal or an $800 sink pump? Is that dream home gonna feel like a nightmare when you're tapped out? And 3, worst of all, I don't want you to get to closing and realize, wait, I have the down payment, but I don't have the money for any of these other things. I wasn't expecting this. And now you have to pull out of the deal on a house that you've worked so hard for because you didn't plan for all the costs. Again, this isn't to discourage you. This is so you're not caught off guard. You don't want to get into your dream home just to end up broke, stressed, and wishing you had never signed. Being ready for these costs keeps your dream home from turning into a cash pit. Now, something I want you to keep in mind is that when you get pre-approved, you will likely get pre-approved for an amount that you should not spend. If you haven't gone through this process, it might make you feel like, what? 500,000? I'm looking at the wrong houses. Don't make the mistake of thinking that number should be your target. Stick to what you can afford so you can avoid being house poor every month. Step 2, pick the right account. While you're saving up for your down payment, never keep it in your everyday checking. This makes it too tempting to dip into. Set up a separate high yield savings account because right now you can get 3.5 to 5% APY. And there's no reason to leave money on the table. Make sure it has no minimum balance fees. Really, it should have no fees at all. And you want to be able to have easy transfers. And I would suggest opening an account with a reputable online bank like American Express, Capital One, or Discover. I personally used Discover when I was saving up for my first house because there were no fees. My balance and interest accrued every month was easy to track, and the automatic transfers made saving what I had budgeted every month very easy. If you want to make real progress on saving up for a house, my number 1 tip is be intentional. Most people save what's left over from their paycheck at the end of the month. And doing that will get you nowhere fast. It doesn't matter how much you start with, but it is absolutely necessary to set up automatic transfers every payday, even if it's just $100. It may not feel like much, but over a year, that's over $1,300. Think about how long you've wanted to save for a house. I know a lot of people think I'll start when I get a raise, a side hustle, or when things calm down a little, but there's just never a perfect time. Well, you know what? That's not true. Actually, there is. The perfect time to start is today, tomorrow, your next paycheck. The time to start is right now. Start small, $50 to $100 a month, and just let that build up. And if you get that raise, if you start that side hustle, great. Just add that to whatever you're already doing. But you must start. Something I tell all my clients to do if it's available to them is direct deposit splits. If your employer allows, split your paycheck so that a specific amount or a percent of your check goes straight into your housing fund. If you're not sure if your employer does this, just go to your HR department and ask them. I had a client that was splitting up her direct deposit 3 ways. She had a certain percent going into her emergency fund, and then she had a specific amount going into her savings account. And whatever was left on her paycheck was going into her checking account. If you never see it, you'll never spend it. Step 4, boost your savings with a side hustle. Cutting out coffee isn't going to get you a house, but earning more might. So if you're in the position where you can commit to some extra work, there is nothing that will help you save faster than more income. Figure out what side hustle you can realistically do and think of this side hustle as your house fund producer. The money that this side hustle makes goes straight into your house fund. No excuses. And this is where you need to be real with yourself. If you know that you're going to be tempted to touch that money, protect yourself from yourself. Have your side hustle check direct deposited into the account where you're saving for your down payment. Now listen, I'm very disciplined, and when I have a goal, I'm all in. But I'm also not a masochist. When you're this disciplined, you need balance. Send 80% to the house fund and 20% enjoy it. It'll keep you sane and you're more likely to actually stick to the plan. And if you have the opportunity to work overtime rather than picking up a separate side job, that might be even better because overtime is usually time and a half. So you're literally making more money for the same kind of work you already do. But you have to treat your overtime income like you would your side hustle income. Keep your overtime money separate from your regular pay. Apply the same rule of 80% going to your house fund and 20% for you to enjoy. Again, we're all human and it's okay to reward yourself, especially when you're working so hard towards a goal. That balance will keep you from burning out and giving up halfway through. Your future you will absolutely thank you when you're spending your weekends cozy at home instead of clocking back in because you're still trying to catch up. And before moving on, I do want to go over some ways to save even more money that I feel people don't give enough attention to. If you make a real effort at this list, you can take that $100 monthly savings to $150, $200, even $300 without any extra work or overtime hours. Add that to your side hustle or overtime income and you'll be saving faster than you ever thought possible. Step 5, celebrate yourself. Saving for a house is a marathon and you have to stay motivated. You should absolutely celebrate when you hit $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in your savings account. And if there's one tip I would make sure to tell everyone is to put your money first. And you're probably like, what do you mean by that? What I mean is stay on top of your bank accounts. Check your interest rates every few months. And if your savings account drops its rate, switch. Be loyal to your money, not your bank account. They're gonna be okay, I promise. Here's your plan for saving a down payment without feeling broke. Knowing your real number, saving it in a high yield savings account, automating it, boosting your income, and tracking your progress. Follow these steps, you'll be miles ahead of other buyers. If you're serious about buying a home, don't miss my next episode. I'm gonna go over the tiny leaks that can drain thousands from your house fund before you even get the keys. Share this with a friend that wants to buy someday, and I'll see you in the next one.